Artists, this is going to change everything because there's a video game that literally makes you a better artist. If you do this, your skills will grow. If you play this, it'll help you accomplish your art dreams. And the best news is you're already playing it. Welcome to Art Mentor. My name is Sean. And today I want to teach you why video games have actually already prepared you to be the amazing artist that you were born to be. And coming from a recovered video game addict, why you doing this is going to help you become a professional just like I did. And it starts by you doing this. Y'all, the first question I want to ask you is, are you living your life like an NPC? Because I used to do that. I used to watch all these artists just fly by me and do really cool things and accomplish really awesome things. You might be seeing this online, you might be seeing this in real life too, or anything in between. So, my friend, I just want to ask you this. Are you just stuck somewhere? Are you just stuck in some town and you are just feeling like you are watching all these awesome people just go by you and do really amazing things, but you're not? My friend, here's the number one thing I want to encourage you on. You are an adventurer. You have to embrace your role as the main character. You have to assert the fact that you are in control. If you're a young person watching this, I feel you, okay? Because in the first 18 years of my life, I had to play by somebody else's rules, and that's generally how it goes. But what are you doing for the next 80 years? If the first 18 years of your life sucked, the next 80 do not have to, because you have to get out of the non-player character mindset and step into the main character role that you were always born to be in. And think of it like this. You can see how much time you put into video games, haven't you? And I used to do it too. And I remember booting up like Elder Scrolls, right? And I could see, man, I completed that game. What's that? Oh, 201 hours, right? But think about it like this. What if you put that amount of time into your artwork? Would you feel better? Would you be better? Would you maybe be in a different place? Would you maybe have some more opportunities? And y'all, I'm not trying to call you out and make you feel like you're not supposed to do this. You're supposed to enjoy things. I want you to enjoy things. And that's a terrific thing for you too. But what's the proportion? Like if you put in 150 hours into a game and you put that equally into your art, then you should be in amazing places. But you gotta embrace your role as the main character. You are what drives the plot of your life, nobody else. So go be an adventurer. Now let's talk about why you need to start to attack more lower level monsters and stick to the ones that are on your level right now, friend. Because in any game, how do you get better? You have to accumulate the experience with it, okay? You have to grind that EXP, right? So you have to go ahead and start to take a look at all the things that you need to do in order to accomplish the things that you want to accomplish in order for you to have an amazing plot. The most important things that you're gonna do are dreadfully boring. And if you play, especially like MMOs, you know this to be true, but you gotta sit there for like hours and hours and hours and grind out the same monsters and monsters and monsters just to try and get like a single armor set or a special weapon or some special item that you need, right? So apply that to your life too. If you knew without a shadow of a doubt that you were going to succeed, that you were gonna get that special drop, that special skill, that special item, that special experience by doing really boring things, then you would definitely do it, wouldn't you? But the difference here is that in real life, you don't know that. But here's what I can tell you. I can promise you this with 100% certainty, that if you really dedicate yourself to just grinding your art skills in the same exact fashion for the same amount of hours that you would have as a video game, that will allow you to just blow up all of your skills. And I'm saying this from personal experience because I used to shy away from doing this too. And then I would look at the amount of time I would spend doing this in games and I would start to reflect back and be like, I could have really invested all that time into better artwork. Have you ever thought about this too? I'm not trying to call you out, but if I am, I hope it's helping you because I believe that you're able to do this. And I know that you're able to go ahead and become the artist that you were always meant to be. Learn those skills, learn perspective, learn anatomy, learn color, learn composition, and learn from multiple sources too. That's how you're gonna get the most XP out of any session. Now, it's time for you to go ahead and think about your class, because in any decent game, you gotta know this, is that you have to pick to one specific build. You cannot be a beast player and max out every single skill and every single stat. You have to focus on a particular type of build, okay? And you wanna apply that to you as an artist friend, because there are way too many artists that just try and get good at freaking everything. And they're trying to get good at realism, and they're trying to get good at anime, and they're trying to get good at pets, and they wanna do a cutesy wootsy style. And look, that's all great, and you can have different interests. But y'all, the way that you're really gonna supersede so many people, and for you to be the best playable character is that you need to just focus down on one thing. Y'all, the best way that I always describe this is that you need to conquer the world by invading one country at a time. So you need to go ahead and just attack one singular thing and do it really freaking well. Just focus on what type of class do you want to be. Do you want to be an anime artist? Do you want to be a stylized artist? Do you want to be a realism artist? Do you want to be a semi-realism artist? And then what genre too? Do you want to do fantasy? Do you want to do cyberpunk? Do you want to do sci-fi? Anything else in there? Just focus down on your class and then go ahead and grind at accumulating those skills and accumulating that knowledge. That's how you're going to unlock your potential. Y'all might think that you focusing is going to bring you less opportunities because you should maybe go ahead and cast a wide net. But no, y'all, don't cast a wide net. Get a wicked sharp spear with max stats. Next, it's time for you to set out, and it's time for you to go ahead and slay your demons and do attacks of monsters. And I'm talking about you got to go ahead and start to make projects. The way that you're going to go ahead and attack your life like a game is you have to give yourself quests. And in any decent game, you've got a lot of different quests that you can go on, right? And the entirety of your life is going to be one big giant one towards you being the artist that you deserve to be, isn't it, friend? So you need to go ahead and design projects. There are way too many people who are just going ahead and farming at life and farming at little tiny creatures because they're not challenging themselves. And that's what your projects have to do for you, friend. Design projects that will challenge you. Design projects that interest you. Design challenges that are going to bring your skills to new heights because you have to invest into new things. And listen, y'all, here's a major tip for you on how to do this very well. You have to only have one focus in each project, okay? So like, for example, maybe you've sat down and you said, I wanna make this the best artwork I ever have. Y'all, that is terrifying. Haven't you ever realized that? That is definitely gonna set you up for a lot of stress and anxiety if it doesn't happen, or when it doesn't happen, whichever boat you're on there. So instead, just focus on one thing. Do you wanna focus on the mood? Do you wanna focus on the composition? Do you wanna focus on the lighting? Do you wanna focus on the anatomy? Anything like that. Just give yourself one singular focus, because then at the end of your quest, by the time you complete that project, you're going to have accomplished one big major thing, and then you can stack that into the next quest. It's gonna make it easier. Now, any good adventurer knows that you would just be foolish to try and journey alone, to go into that dungeon, to try that new thing, to go into treacherous lands, because art is treacherous, isn't it? And for that reason, y'all need to know that you need to look for your party. There are way too many solo levelers. Is this you too? Are you still trying to do better, but you're only stuck in the echo chamber of your mind? Well, that might be why, friend. So one of the things I'm gonna recommend you do is you gotta start to look out for a community. You have to start to look out and vet certain groups anywhere online, anywhere in person. You want to go to Facebook, you want to go to Reddit, or hey, if you want to go to Discord, it's a really, really great one, like for example mine, link down below in the description. But it's important for you to get feedback, to get ideas, to get advice from people outside of your head. Because real talk here, what you have to do in order to be a better artist, that video games taught me, is that you have to destroy ignorance by destroying your solo perspective. And if you're able to do that, that's how you're gonna be able to conquer bigger lands and go on to better adventures. Are you afraid of talking to people, or are you afraid of getting in with certain crowds? That just might mean that you might not have found a good party yet. Doesn't mean that you should be solo though. So let me guess, you're somebody who thinks that they're slow, right? You think that you just don't have that magical intuition. Maybe you just weren't born with the right stats, or maybe you just think that, you know, your build's all wrong. You got things all mixed up from how it needs to be, right? Well, here's the problem, my friend. I think it might have to do with your skill build, because if you really want to get some nasty killer art combos and you want to be able to chain those things together, then you need to really focus into one particular media. There are way too many artists out here that are just trying to do everything, and you dabble a little bit here, there, and there. And when I call these people, I call them toxic dabblers, if you've ever heard me talk about it before. So my friend, just think about it like this. If you were in a game, what would you do? You would specialize into skills that would lead you down one single trajectory, and you'd be flipping awesome at it. So by all means, yes, definitely experiment. See what works for you. Try to integrate new things into it and mix and match them. But if you really want to get great, and you want to innovate, and you want to create, and you want to supercharge your workflow, That's how you're going to do it. Y'all think that intuition is just this magical property that some people were born with and some people weren't, but no, friend. What it is, that is developed. It's developed over time, it's developed through experience, it's developed through mindfulness. It's you being succinctly in tune to exactly what you're doing and how you're doing and asking yourself the right questions on how to do it. So you need to develop your skills and be masterful in one rather than you being meh, just kind of mid. But if you really sink yourself into a great workflow, things that work for you, that are special for you, you are gonna be special as well, and you're gonna stand out. So to access more exclusive content, in order to access all the better quests and the better gear and the better techniques and the skills that you wanna develop, y'all, here's what I need to let you know about leveling up and the number one secret that nobody talks about, and it's this. You need to just start asking more questions as you're going through your art journey. And everybody will always blame this on your skills or anything, but how do you get there and how do you level up, friend? Well, here's the thing. Sure, you can go ahead and you grind out a bajillion boxes, or you can do 100 hands, or maybe just do this instead. You need to consider that you're not asking the right questions. And when I started to realize this allowed me to propel my skills and propel my artistic future. What I learned was that curiosity and reflection equals faster improvement, because there are so many people that just think that if you just robotically go through the process of making artwork over and over and over again, it's somehow gonna get you there. But y'all, if you're not looking back on that and asking these questions, then you're not gonna improve very much at all. You need to ask things like, first off, if you're trying to get better, faster, more efficient, ask yourself this: what's the priority right now? Because there are so many people that start off in artwork and they're anxious about how it doesn't look Instagram worthy or that this part's taking too long. Maybe you just prioritize that way too early at the expense of everything else. Here's another one for you too. And then in order to get there, go ahead and ask yourself this: how would I do that faster? Once you complete something hard and you've accomplished a big quest, think about this: how could I do that in less time? Where are my shortcuts that exist? And here's another big one too: what's holding you down? What's taking too long? Learn and invest into that knowledge so that you can go ahead and you can propel yourself onto a better level. And that's how you're gonna get there. Stay curious, my friends. Now you're ready to test your mettle. Now you're ready to go slay some dragons. I'm talking about it's time for you to go ahead and fight some art bosses. And the way you're gonna do that, Fred, is you need to make some big, ugly, scary projects. The things that you've had locked in your mind, because I know you. Tell me if this is you down below, friend, because I'm gonna read your mind right now. I bet you've got an amazing idea. I bet you've got an amazing concept. I bet you've got an amazing IP. I bet maybe you've got a manga. Maybe you've got a story. Maybe you got some characters, but it's locked away in here. You're keeping them imprisoned up here, aren't you, friend? So you need to go ahead and unleash that, and you need to fight that boss, because the more that you go ahead and you do battle, trying to do the things that you have always been passionate about, that you've always conceived of, is definitely going to get you to the next artistic level. Y'all, I used to just go ahead and only keep everything locked up here, and then I realized this: that's what is holding us back as artists, because we're afraid that it's gonna suck, that it's not gonna look good. And is that you, friend, too? Tell me about it, because I know how you work, because I was there too, and I still am sometimes. And here's the thing: it's gonna suck at first. It's not gonna be very good. But guess what? You're gonna get better over time, because you're gonna follow the advice that I'm telling you in this video and in my other ones too, because you are going to evolve that. You can't think that generation 1 of your artwork is gonna be the best when you're probably gonna need upwards of generation 10 of it. So just be okay with that. Here's another thing too on the topic of fighting some bosses in your art life. You need to think about this: what are you not doing? What are you avoiding? Go ahead and fight those, because when you go ahead and you do battle against the things you don't want to do, you grow in everything you do like to do. Have you ever thought about that? Next, let's talk about why you need to develop some secondary job skills, why you need to go ahead and try and get some exclusive items, and why you need to go ahead and farm some sweet rewards. Y'all need to make sure in your art life that you have side quests in there, okay? And this is gonna help keep you fresh and keep you energized and keep you motivated, because you need to keep your authentic interests alive. So even though I do advise you to just go ahead and focus on one thing, go ahead and also periodically take some time, explore some other things, try some new opportunities. If you're only a 2D digital artist, go ahead and try 3D art too. If you're only doing digital art, maybe try yourself at traditional. Here's the best thing about this that I've learned in my entire career of being an art teacher and an artist: There's no set of skills that does not transfer to another media. If you're a great 2D artist, you can be a great 3D artist. If you're a great 3D artist, you can be a great 2D artist. Going from drawing to painting, there are transferable skills and knowledge that you bring into every single time, and you're not a noob every single time. You transfer some of your levels into that too. Have you ever thought about it like that? It's super powerful and something I've learned from watching artists go at this for years. Literally thousands of artists, I've seen this evolution happen, and it'll happen for you too, friend. But here's the one major thing I want to advise you on though. You can't stray too long and too far from your main plot, because you need to be in charge of who you are and what you're doing. And you're the main character here, right? So you cannot go away for so long doing all these side quests that detract from what your main purpose is, because at that point, you're just distracting yourself. As you're journeying, as you're questing, as you're venturing into being an artist, friend, did you remember to save your game? Did you remember to back up your data? Do you remember to turn on autosave? Because I need to talk to you about the checkpoints that you're gonna experience in your artwork. So every single time after you complete a big project, okay, you're gonna experience what I typically call artistic recoil. And this is when you're gonna feel like all this anxiety just rush out of you. And then you're gonna feel a little bit de-energized, okay? At that point, y'all, it's time for you to take some type of a break. And this can be in the form of you just need a few hours, you need a day, maybe even need a week, okay? And definitely, y'all, I want to encourage you to take breaks periodically, but I also want to advise you on this big time too. You need to make sure that you structure your breaks so that it doesn't interrupt your flow for too long. Because what happens when you step away from a game too long, you forget how to play it, okay? But nonetheless, your art skills do save. You can walk away from it for a little bit and come back to it, okay? So I encourage this because it's great for your mental health, it's important for your motivation, and here's the most important thing too. You have to focus on the other priorities in life, because if you get to the end game and you beat everything and you get everything that you want to get and you do all the things that you want to do in your art life, and you get there and then you realize that there's no one there to enjoy that with, what the heck was it for? Why did you even go on this adventure? So that you can be a glorious loner? I don't think that's what you want, friend, is it? So make sure that you structure your breaks, but hold up, pause now. Make sure that you don't take too long on them, because at that point, you're just avoiding, or you're numbing, or you're just trying to convince yourself that you are not good enough, and then you need to start this process over again. So you really need to make sure that you do take the time to get some air, to touch some grass, and to do things that will keep you energized, friend. But you can't stay out of it for too long, because once it's disproportionately you taking a break, is you starting to give up. Be careful. By living your life like you are the main character of a video game, y'all, you could potentially save your life from what you don't want it to be. And that's exactly what happened to me, friends. And I made an entire video all about it right here so you can learn how art saved my life, because I think it will do the same for you too.